Good evening and welcome to Good News on Entertainment. I'm Carley Boyette. It's another really fun show tonight as we continue with our coverage of the nationwide release of I Can Only Imagine 2 that is now officially in theaters. In just a moment, I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at the red carpet premiere that was held in Nashville. But make sure to stick around too, because a little later in the show, we're also going to hear the story behind another hit song from a different artist. Stephen McWhirter is the singer-songwriter behind Come Jesus Come, which has more than 100 million views on YouTube alone. He has just released a new book that shares his incredible testimony and story behind that song. Again, more on that a little later. But as I mentioned, we first need to head out to Nashville for the premiere of I Can Only Imagine 2. I had a chance to be there as the cast and crew and many others gathered at the Fisher Center located at Belmont University, right in the heart of Nashville, all to celebrate how God is continuing to use music and movies for His glory. So explain what a night like this is. Is it a little bittersweet?
It's exciting because we've been sitting on the movie so long that we're just dying for people to see it. It's nerve-wracking because we've done screenings, but I never stay in the screening. So tonight I'm hoping people laugh at the jokes and respond the way they're supposed to. But excited to see how people feel about it. The feedback's been good so far. Having a blast doing this journey with my family. I've done a couple interviews with my son right next to me, doing another interview, and that's really weird. But it's a little bittersweet. It's been such a labor of love, and now the sprint is about to happen. But I'm excited for people to see it. And then in March we go back on tour and do what I know.
How are you feeling about your story being put on the big screen?
I think they nailed it. I really didn't have a whole lot of notes.
Did you have reservations at first though?
I did. I think we've the conversation of, hey, I think we're going to do a second one has kind of been floating around for years, and every time it came by I was like, it won't be made. We're not going to do that. And it wasn't until they sent a script to my house that I was like, oh my word, we're doing this.
Brag on Dad a little bit and kind of watching him on this journey as well. And it's just so cool to see the relationship that you guys have in this and admitting that it's not always easy.
Well, I think that's why, not like, yes, it's our story, but I love this movie so much because, Lionsgate and Andy and Brent, they weren't afraid to get real. I think that's the biggest thing that everyone can relate to is life gets hard. I'm type 1 diabetic. I've had it since I was 2, so 22 years. Tim's cancer journey and not being afraid to do that and do it right and do it well has been the most gratifying part for me, because I told them, I was like, if we're going to cover that subject, it's got to be right. And so we kind of sat down and went through all the things that, I had to go through as a kid. And it was a really fun experience to kind of do Diabetic 101 with all these guys. But it's been such an incredible experience, just kind of being a fly on the wall, watching your own story. It's almost like watching memories, and you're just over here. So it's just been a huge honor, and the cast is great. Sammy, who plays me, he's incredible, wonderful human. His family's great. It's just been an awesome experience.
Well, I got to write this one, and so I'm a big, open-hearted, real sensitive artist creature, and so I would say this one hits harder emotionally, and it's beautiful, man. I just really want people to move through life with more of an open heart, and it's hard to do. Life can get hard, and life can get tough, and oftentimes when life gets tough on you, you close, and so this is a movie that's inviting people to live their life a little more open-hearted, even when life gets tough on us, which it will.
I'm so thankful that I've gotten another at-bat here. How lucky am I that I get to come back and play the same character with the same family? And, I'm a little older, a little more experienced. I'm a father now. I'm a husband.
I was going to say you're a dad, which changes
everything.
The game completely.
Well, I mean, anyone who's a parent knows there's life before kids and there's life after kids. But not little things, big things for me. My mother passed away in 2017, 2018, and we all went through the pandemic together. And it's just Bart's story connects with me so much more now. I didn't think it would connect with me more as a father, but it does. And so I don't think I have all the answers. I think I'm still processing all of this.
We won't talk a little bit about working with Mercy Me and Bart and what that's been like over the years. I'd imagine it's a pretty amazing thing to see everything that's happened over the years, and for you to kind of get a front row back seat.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be a part of Mercy Me's career in any capacity, but. For me to be able to be in the room whenever we're making the big decisions or having the big discussions, and just to see, who they are as people, not artists or celebrities or whatever, but just as people. They're loyal to a fault. That's why they've stuck with me as long as they have, and it's really helped me to. I mean, they've helped me in a lot of ways over the years, but it's really helped me to just realize that, walking with somebody through the trials, but sticking with them as you come out the other side, that's real life. And that's what we should be doing as Christians.
And I can't imagine what it's like being here tonight, knowing that this all happened because God literally spoke to you while you were in the car driving and said, let's make movies about, the stories behind songs.
Yeah, it was to replicate a worship experience that we have inside church, but instead inside a movie theater, to make these movies based on iconic Christian songs. And I Can Only Imagine and Shout to the Lord were the two originally that were proposed to me. And I didn't know the story under Imagine, but I loved the song. And when I heard the story, I said in '09, I was going to make a movie off of that song. And then after Imagine released in 18, was listening to Even If, weeping, and I heard that still small voice say to make a movie on Even If.
Gratitude. Grief. Finding a way to hold them both. God is in fire, and it is beautiful. This song needs you.
Oh, what a fun night and such an incredible movie. Again, I Can Only Imagine 2 is in theaters now, and you do not want to miss it. All right, now to that new book I was telling you about from Stephen McWhirter. It's called Radically Restored: How Knowing Jesus Heals Our Brokenness. He is the singer-songwriter behind Come Jesus Come that CeCe Winans has recently recorded. And the story behind how that song came to be and how God radically changed Stephen's life is ripe for a movie, just like I Can Only Imagine. You see, Stephen grew up the son of a preacher, a traveling evangelist who was an upright man behind the pulpit, but a violent husband and father at home. It's not hard to see why Stephen wanted nothing to do with his father or God after that upbringing. He sought escape through drugs, alcohol, theft, and pornography. He carried so much pain that he would even cuss people out if they mentioned Jesus' name. But late one night, as Stephen sat in bed with drugs on his nightstand, he started reading Lee Strobel's book, A Case for Christ. And God met him right where he was and radically changed his life. Let's hear more from Stephen himself and how all of that led him to write Come Jesus Come, and why having a heart and passion to pray for Jesus' return can give you a whole new outlook on life.
Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt.
And man, now when I listen to that song and know the story behind it, it's even that much more powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I would imagine.
It's a very intimate thing almost that it's so strange to see it out there and all this stuff God's doing with it.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that, but I want rewind a little bit if people are just now kind of finding out about your story that are tuning in, for this show.
Yeah.
You were a pastor's kid. Explain kind of your early childhood, how you would describe it, because it was definitely, it was, in fact, you say pretty violent.
Yeah, I would emphasize that I think there's a little bit of a difference between a preacher's kid and an evangelist's son.
Okay.
I know that sounds funny, but I think there is. I mean, they both have. I've met many PKs, preacher kids, that are like, man, I can relate to your story. So I know the overlaps there, but there was something about traveling in just different places, different people all the time. It was interesting, right? But yes, my dad was an evangelist. We traveled a lot as kids, and the guy I saw on a stage behind a pulpit, preaching, and people were getting saved, by the way, because God's good. Okay, He's gracious, but behind closed doors, that man was physically abusive with my mom. Just extreme violence that we saw as kids growing up. It'd be traumatic for anybody, right? Deep wounds there. And I think for me, even at a young age, I decided, right then and there, that if God's real, He's not good. And I didn't want anything to do with this Jesus guy. And so like 11 years old on up into my, early 20s, I was in heavy addiction. Many, many years of it was crystal meth. And this started at 11 years old, and I hated Jesus, hated Christians during all that time. And there were people though really praying for me, to come to Jesus. By the way, prayer, if you hear anything, prayer actually works. It's truly effective.
And by the way, you have siblings, and that kind of, it seems like, there's three, correct?
There's three of us. Yes.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of the path that most of y'all took. I mean, it just really did a number on you guys, understandably.
Sure. Yeah, no, it did for sure. I mean, how could it not? I mean, you cannot underestimate the significance of a father or a parent on your life. We want to try to pretend like it's not a big deal, right? But it is.
Which is one of the things you bring up, is I think that's why sometimes, because God is a father figure, a heavenly father, as humans, we're constantly casting what our parents, that it's hard to separate that too, right? Which I think is such a valid point to bring up.
Yeah, our relationship with the Lord is often seen through a broken lens of a person, right? An imperfect person on this side of eternity. And so our lens of a father may be really broken, like mine was. And so when you hear the idea of God as a father, you go, ugh, it's just like, you just can't imagine. But He's the very source of what a father's meant to look like. Even the best parents on this side of eternity pale in comparison to the Lord as the Father, as the source of what that looks like. So yeah, I didn't know that though throughout my teens, right? I was just like, so people were praying for me, and somebody gave me this book called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel, right? Which is wild because Lee wrote the foreword for this book. To me, that's one of the most amazing parts of the story. People meet a lot of celebrities in their life. For me, it was like, and I've met a lot of cool people throughout the years, and it's fine. We're all just people. But there was something about meeting Lee that just felt so full circle for me, because it was 20 some odd years ago, right? And somebody offered me this book. I didn't cuss them out and cause a scene, right? Which is probably the most miraculous part of the story. I was like, cool, thanks. Give me this stupid book. It's 3:00 in the morning. Fast forward, I'm in this room. I have drugs on the side table next to me. Nobody's playing a piano softly and quietly in the corner, right? Creating the ambience. For a lot of people that go to church, and I love the church, this may be offensive, right? The idea of somebody encountering the Lord in this place like this. And but for me, it was real. Like, I knew He was there. Like, 100% knew God was in the room. And I was like, I began to have this internal dialogue with Him, right? I didn't like audibly hear His voice, but I knew He was there. And I was like, God, I want to quit all this addiction, all this darkness, all this depression, all this that I've known for so long. Like, it's been so much of my life, over half of my life at this point, that I can't imagine who I am without it. This is me, right?
It's your identity at that point.
Yeah. I think I was up for 3 or 4 days at one point during this, and I was like, yeah, you're going to die young, but you're not going to quit. So it is what it is. That's a pretty dark place to end up, right? And I remember in that room, and I was like, I want to, but I can't. I just remember this thought from the Lord that I knew wasn't my own, and it was, Stephen, you won't do it, I'll do it. And this is that like Ephesians 2:8, right? That I didn't know that then. I know that now. Ephesians 2:8, you're saved by grace. This isn't something you can boast about. It's a work of God. He does it. So I agreed with him. That was the most important thing I can do, you know. Actually, Jesus says in John 6:29, the only work the Father asks of you is to believe. And that's what I did. I believed him like I believe I'm breathing air right now. And fell on my knees, gave my life to Jesus in that room, 3:00 in the morning, ugly crying, boogers coming out of my nose, right? And I haven't looked back since. And it's wild because, again, you know, imagine this didn't happen, but imagine you go back 20 years ago and God's like, hey, that book, you know, I'm that kid in that room, and meth, all that, 3:00 in the morning. And God's like, hey, that book you're reading, the guy who wrote it, he's going to write the foreword for your book in 20 some odd years. And people are going to read your book in a place like this. And I'm going to use them, and I'm going to keep doing it because this is what God does. He writes the best stories, and he just keeps drawing people to him.
And the story continues, which, and I thought it was really interesting. You really admit too about forgiving your father. And you said forgiveness was actually harder than stopping an addiction, which, you know, is really mind blowing when you think about it, but I understand it, you know, and especially with someone like that. And your father did eventually come around, right? I want to make sure, you know, to say that.
When I was saved, when I gave my life to Jesus, at that point, my dad hadn't touched my mom for like 10 years, right? I do not condone it. To be totally honest with you, there was a point in the story we read it where I wish my mom would have left my dad. She didn't. And I think I resented her as much as him throughout all this addiction, you know. And I think for me, being able to forgive him seemed unimaginable, right? Because I didn't condone any of it. And by the way, if you're hearing my voice, you're not safe, get safe, right? But I'll just say, you know, for me, when I felt like I was supposed to forgive my dad, I was like, no way. I can quit meth. I can't do this. And I remember that whole process of forgive my dad. It was one thing after another, right? I remember driving. It was the most it was like you wouldn't put it in a movie. Me going to my dad to say, you know, I walk into his room where he's sitting this lazy boy, the quintessential dad in his chair, right? And I'm like, hey, we need to talk. I just want to tell you, I forgive you, blah, 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 for all the things. And he just looked at me like a deer in headlights and was like, okay. And there was no bird on my shoulder or a beam of light shooting in the room. I just didn't know, but I know that the Lord did something in that beyond what I experienced and what I saw. And fast forward, my wife is like, soon to be wife at this time. She was like, hey, I want your dad. I think he should baptize us. I'm like, this is insane, but okay. My dad baptizes us. My mom tells me later, by the way, I don't know if I got this in the book or not in time, but because when you're writing a book like this, you have a lot of conversations. My mom, you know, and I've had a lot of conversations, and it's all so good. Like, God is so good. And so there were stories I didn't know that I learned. And one was the night my dad baptized us, he cried all night.
It is in there, but yeah, it is in the book.
Is there hope, you know, for God to actually mend what I'd broken? Now, fast forward again, my wife's like, hey, I want your dad to perform our wedding ceremony. He ends up performing our wedding ceremony. I think we're lucky this marriage worked out. Okay, that's all I can say.
It's because God was in it, right?
So you know, at this point in my life, my dad's been passed from cancer over 12 years or so, I think. And, you know, many times I had told him, I forgive you, right? And you know that story where Peter says to Jesus, hey, how many times should I forgive my enemy? 7 times? That seems like a lot. 7? And Jesus is like, no, 70 times 77. So it's like, just don't stop counting. Just keep doing it, right? Don't stop counting. And I remember sitting in, you know, when my dad had bone cancer. And I don't know if you've ever been in a hospice situation where somebody's in a coma. They're unresponsive. And they're hanging on, and the nurses and the doctors will tell you, the hospice team will tell you, hey, just tell them it's okay. They can let go. They can go. They won't respond, but they can hear you. And normally they will really soon after that. Well, we had done this with my dad, and it had been weeks or a week or so of him still doing this, just hanging on. I remember my mom leaving the room and me being alone with my dad in the room. And I lean in one last time. Well, not one last time because it's 7 times 77. But I lean in one last time with him on this side of eternity and said to him, whispered in his ear, Dad, I love you, and I really do forgive you. Weeping, right? And right, like moments after that, just meet him in the room, my dad breathes his last and leaves this world. And I feel like for me, this book is, it's about addiction, it's about redemption, it's all that. But I think ultimately at the end of it, it's about restoration. That's why we called it that. It's not just the restoring of my life, it's the restoring of things that we think can never be restored. And the forgiveness is probably the most Jesus-like thing we could do on this side of eternity. And it's taking a debt, and a legitimate debt that somebody owes you or you owe somebody else. They rip it up or you rip it up. But I will say this, there's a difference between reconciliation and forgiveness. And I say that to say that you may forgive somebody. That doesn't mean you're going to be friends with them. You're going to be in a relationship. You're going to see them every day. You can put that in the Lord's hands, love them, forgive them, really set them free, set you free, and move on. But the crazy thing is, if you think about it, we've been reconciled to Jesus. We do not deserve that. It is super offensive, the idea that we've been reconciled to Jesus.
Amen.
But so for me, I hope people read it and don't just go, wow, what a crazy story. I hope they go, gosh, I mean, God can do this.
Well, that's why I'm just so thankful that you wrote this book. I told you before we got started, I want to see this on the big screen. I think the movie script is just
I don't know that I want to see it on the big screen.
All right, so let's fast forward though to Come Jesus Come, because that's the other really cool thing that God did behind this. And this song, and I love how you challenge us, in the later half of the book when you explain how this all came to be, because I don't know if I have looked to heaven maybe as much as I should have. And you even point out too in the Bible, I love this, I wrote this down, that the cross is mentioned 28 times in the New Testament, but Jesus' return is referenced 318 times, which I don't know if I've ever, until you pointed that out, I don't know if I've really thought about it that way. And so, and there's really not a whole, I mean, there's songs about heaven, but this idea of pleading for like his return.
Well, a lot of people hear that, and the first thing they probably think, and I've heard this a lot from people, is, well, what about all those that don't know Jesus yet? If we pray for him to come back, are you just basically, here's what I will say to that. Do you think you're more worried or more that you love them more than the Lord does? Because he's not going to, just because you're praying for him to come back, he's not going to come back and go, way to go, all these people went to hell because you prayed for me to come. Good job, stupid. No, I think God knows what he's doing. He calls us to long for him to return. And, he's, in Peter, I think it's 2 Peter, he says, the Lord is patient. He's not one to lose anyone, right? So that he will call all. So to even pray for him to return is to quicken the calling of all the people that will come to him. And when you really want Jesus to return, this is probably the biggest thing for me in this song. And really, it's more than a song. It's like something that God did in my wife and I in a very secret, very important time in our life where we just were like, oh, I get it now. I really do want Jesus to come. And the reason it's mentioned 318 times in the Bible is because the disciples, this was the hope set before them, that one day they would see their friend again returned, right? And I guess I never thought about it like that. And I've started realizing that, wait, when I actually long for Jesus to return, I love people better here and now towards that day. I build things that matter more here and now towards that day. I think you might hear the old adage, you're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. Have you ever heard that before?
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think that's the biggest bumpkus ever, because if you think about it biblically, it's not biblical, because in the Bible, in Colossians 3, Paul says, set your mind above where Christ is seated. And that whole section is about the return of Jesus, right? And you can only be so heavenly minded, you're more earthly good. And so I don't know. I think that's probably the heart for the song for me, and that's been important in my life beyond a song, right?
Well, and let's start. The one thing I wanted to make sure and bring up here, I know we're kind of getting long here, but I just love this. I didn't know this about your story until I read the book, was how this song actually, how you used it on TikTok. And I did not realize that you were singing this song live and then helping people come to know Christ. You were essentially doing an altar call on
Yeah,
social media, which I think is the coolest thing.
yeah, we're going to get back to that. It's been a busy year, but that is the most important thing. We're doing a lot of free events too, just to get as many people saved in addiction recovery and prison ministries, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was like 40,000 people came to Jesus, I think, in like a year. On all these live streams that we were doing, and we were playing the song live, and that's how it went viral. And
what's your relationship with Cece Winans? Now obviously she's taken this, and now it's, even bigger than. It's just
to be
insane.
honest with you, her and I have never spoken.
Oh my gosh, we've got to change that.
It's not. It's shit. I don't know. I've never talked to anybody. I found out there's somebody. Hey, she's doing your song.
Wow.
And I was like,
well, wait
awesome.
till she hears your story. And
it's okay.
Because
she's
more
fine.
people.
She's fine, and God's doing some really great things with that through her. Again, it's not about me. It's not. That sounds like a trite thing to say, but look, man. One day you and I are going to blink and be in the presence of Jesus, and we're going to look back and.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a lot of things that we thought were important that aren't. And just trying to keep my mind in that place. And I'm just grateful that she did it and that God's using it like that. It's awesome.
Well, Stephen, thank you for putting your story, your testimony, your raw emotions. I think it's going to connect with a lot of people. I'm excited to see what God is continue going to do with you as you share your story. What is kind of next for you? Is that the plan to still travel? And do you do much traveling and sharing your testimony now? I know you're a songwriter. You're still writing a lot.
Our big thing is, I think over the next year or so, is we're trying to do more free, which costs me money, which is a weird thing, but I'm like, it's tough to do like really, and I'm not against this, by the way, not at all. We do have a fee to come do events sometimes and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's always been weird to me to be like, hey, I'm going to charge a lot of money for people to come worship Jesus. But for me, that's fine. But for me, it's like, it's really is my testimony. Because when I share my story, we see like 20% of the rooms come to Jesus. And in order to get all those people in the room that don't know Jesus yet or on the fence, you need to remove as many barriers as possible. So our plan is to kind of do something that isn't super enticing to the industry, which is free events. Nobody wants to do that. But I do. I want to see more people come to Jesus. And that's the only metric that matters. People matter.
Come, Jesus. Come.
Radically Restored is available where most books are sold, including Amazon. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Again, I'm Carley Boyette. If you have any questions about what you saw tonight, head to ctnonline.com. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you next week right here on your Christian television network.